Hey everyone, Alpha Eagle here again. Welcome back to my channel. I pray you're all doing well and may God bless you all. I'm continuing with my coverage of X-Men 97. Now this show is a literal train wreck. To sum up episode 5, everyone is cheating on everyone else, and everyone dies in the Mutant Ethnostate. I again saved you a half an hour of wasted time. You're welcome. The writers again try to emotionally manipulate the audience by killing off a bunch of characters. I hate this cheap tactic used by writers. It's one of the things that I hated the most about Kevin Smith's He-Man. If you guys didn't see that series, they killed off Prince Adam in the very first episode. They also killed off Mossman, Oracle, Beastman, Roboto, Fisto, Clampchamp, King Randor, Granomir, the Sorceress, Scareglow, Skeletor himself, and Hordak. You could tell me in the comments below if I missed anyone. It was ridiculous how many characters they killed off. The point is, writers kill off characters as a cheap tactic to try to get the audience to actually care about their pathetic show. It's a distraction so you don't notice how bad the writing is. It's to fool you into thinking it's deeper than it really is. And if you think any of these characters are actually dead, I'd like to introduce you to some friends of mine. Gwen Stacy, Bucky Barnes, Jason Todd, Superman, and of course, Morph from this very show. Not to mention half of the MCU. Characters die in comics and come back all the time. I don't even think that Professor X is really dead in this show. I mean, we even saw Cable in this episode, so it seems like he's trying to fix something that went wrong in the past. So I'm sure that we'll at least see Magneto and Gambit again, and if not, I'll make a video saying I was wrong. Now, before we begin, for everyone who says that I just want to be negative all the time and I never say anything positive, there are two things that I liked about this episode. One, Morph's not in it very much, and two, the evil terrorist bigot Magneto dies, supposedly. Anyway, the episode begins with a reporter interviewing the X-Men for some reason. She actually catches Cyclops lying, and he freaks out.
I said because you're normal. You're ungrateful. We fight, risk our lives for you. Evil mutants, robots, crazy aliens. I gave him up. I gave him up because you can't say thank you. Because I have to stomach your questions and prove that I'm a person. I lie because the truth is we're nothing like you. Thank God, because it's the only reason you people are still alive.
So now Cyclops is acting more like the evil bigot terrorist Magneto, when even Wolverine says later on that Scott is supposed to be the Boy Scout.
Look to that overgrown Boy Scout.
Proving my point that the writers don't really get these characters. Now, speaking of Wolverine, he goes to see why Jean is avoiding the reporter, and during their talk, she kisses Wolverine, and Wolverine does the right thing and rejects her. And later on, Jean finds out that Scott is having this, I guess you'd call it, a mind affair with Madeline Pryor, and Jean gets pissed at Scott, and I was thinking to myself, female dog, you just physically kissed Wolverine, and you have the audacity to get mad at Scott for basically keeping in contact with the mother of his child. The double standard of these characters is amazing. Meanwhile, the evil, bigoted terrorist Magneto, Rogue, and Gambit are traveling to the segregated mutant ethnostate of Genosha. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad for me calling it a segregated ethnostate, but that's what it is. I mean, what else would he call it when a nation was created specifically for one group of people? You might as well call it Israel while you're at it. The point is that people on the left claim to be against segregation, but they really are only against segregation for Western countries. When it comes to ethnostates like Wakanda or Genosha, they're all for it. Hypothetically, that white people had a country that was exclusively for white people only, people on the left would hate it. But if there was a country that was exclusively only for black people, like Wakanda in real life, they would love it. You see how the left's hypocrisy and double standards work? Anyway, Genosha is of course a utopia, because that's what people on the left think that ethnostates, or at least non-white ethnostates, would be like. Because crime and violence only comes with the evil white colonizers, don't you know? Utopias will never exist because there are bad people of every race, no matter how much you segregate people. And doesn't this idea of a mutant ethnostate go against Professor X's dream of an integrated world of humans and mutants? Again, the writers don't get the point of the X-Men. Anyway, the evil bigot terrorist Magneto was invited to the mutant ethnostate of Genosha because they want him to be their new king, or as they called it, chancellor. The current leaders of the mutant ethnostate of Genosha? That's right, more evil bigoted terrorists, the Hellfire Club. And Moira McTaggart and Banshee are also on this council. But why are they working with these evil terrorist bigots? The White Queen even expresses her bigotry for humans.
Whose charitable idea was it to let a human be on the council? Were no others available to weep over semantics?
Why are all the good guys working with the bad guys? Why are they all such gullible idiots? Why are they working together just because they're all mutants? Like I said before, there is no such thing as a segregated ethnostate utopia, since there are good and bad people in all groups. Do left-wing people actually believe that, say, if all black people had their own blacks-only ethnostate nation, that they would all magically get along? It doesn't work like that. So the idea of Genosha being a utopia, simply because it's a place just for mutants, goes way beyond my suspension of disbelief. Yes, I find the idea of aliens, giant robots, monsters, time travel, and mutants with superpowers more believable than a utopian ethnostate. Nightcrawler's also here, and just as I predicted, they ruined his character. First, he wouldn't be here working with these evil terrorist bigots like the Hellfire Club. Heck, he wouldn't even be working with them based on their name alone. Then they made him say this line.
There is no love without sin.
A Christian conservative would never say that there is no love without sin. That's ridiculous. One can absolutely love without sinning. I guess this is the writer's way of trying to push the homosexual propaganda phrase, love is love. Love is not love. According to Christianity, homosexuality is a sin. The point is, Kurt would not say that there is no love without sin. The writers do not understand this character. He says that he wants Rogue to be his queen. And later, she explains to Gambit that she met Magneto before she joined the X-Men. So yet again, the series breaks canon, since they clearly didn't know each other in the original series. I don't know how people can like this show as many times as it breaks canon. Anyway, Genosha has a gala, emphasis on the gay, and Valerie Cooper enters and says this.
Most other nations don't allow a terrorist to be their leader.
Thank you. Yes, Magneto is an evil terrorist bigot. I've been saying this since episode 1. Why are all of you even talking to this guy? He should be in jail. But here's the thing. Female dog, you were the one who pardoned him.
Nation stunned the world this week when it issued a pardon for Magneto.
Fault that this evil terrorist bigot is free. If he commits any more terrorist acts, it will be your fault. Also, the Hellfire Club is right there. Why aren't you arresting them for their crimes? Why are so many of these good guys in this show such gullible morons? Speaking of which, Madeline Pryor is working for the Hellfire Club. Why is she working for them after they brainwashed and tortured Jean? Yeah, I know that Madeline and Jean aren't the same person, but they have the same memories. But Madeline is just working for them like nothing happened, and torturing Jean was no big deal. So what's wrong with these people? Again, they are complete morons. Anyway, some giant Tri-Sentinel comes out of nowhere and kills a lot of people. I think all the Morlocks are dead, including Leech and Callisto. Magneto is also dead, and I cheered. Finally, that evil terrorist bigot got what he deserved. Unfortunately, like I said, they'll probably bring him back. Is also dead. Like I said, this is just a trick by the writers to manipulate the audience, but it didn't work on me since, like I said before, they'll probably bring him back. And if they actually keep him dead, well, that sucks, because he's one who actually questioned Magneto, so he wasn't as dumb as the rest of them. Also notice that they didn't kill any of the female X-Men. It ends, and like the rest of them, it sucks. This episode manipulates the audience emotions, fooling them into thinking that these characters are dead. It breaks canon again by falsely claiming that Rogue and Magneto met in the past. All the good guys act like gullible morons by trusting evil terrorist bigots. They push this bigoted idea of a segregated mutant ethnostate, completely ignoring Charles' dream of an integrated society of humans and mutants. I keep getting accused of not knowing the X-Men, but it's clear that the writers know nothing about the show that they were working on. So yet again, this is a big thumbs down for me. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I'm Alpha Eagle. God bless you for watching. God bless America. And I pray that the audience grows some brain cells and sees this show for the crap it is.